Today I'm going to show you an exercise on the hands and knees that's really useful for stabilising the spine. So we're looking at gathering in through those deep abdominal corset muscles, gathering upwards gently through the pelvic floor muscles, and as we activate those central muscles, our centre, we want to feel that we can keep the pelvis, the spine and the shoulders completely still. So we're going to bring ourselves onto the hands and knees. You want to make sure that you've got your neutral spine position, so the natural curve in your back remains absolutely as it is all the way through. So any time that you exhale, you're going to be lifting the abdominals, but you are not going to be flattening through the back. You're just going to be drawing in three-dimensionally through that centre. So set yourself up with your natural curves in the spine, your neutral spine. Your arms and your thighs are roughly vertical and your hands are spreading into the floor. So you've got the middle fingers pointing forwards, the thumbs angling towards each other. I'm using my push-up handles because one of my wrists doesn't do that, but if you're happy, then you're in that position with your hands flat to the floor. So start off by just widening the shoulders and drawing those shoulders down away from the ears, checking that your back of your neck is long, so your gaze is down towards your fingertips. And then as you exhale, first gather in through that centre to stabilise the spine, and then gently reach forwards through one arm as if you're reaching to shake hands with somebody. And then inhale to bring the hand back in underneath you. And as you exhale, gather in through your centre, reach forwards gently with the other arm, as if you're reaching to shake hands with somebody. So as you alternate sides, see what you can do to minimise the shift of your body weight from one side to the other. You may well feel that as you reach your left arm forwards, there's more weight in one knee than the other. Just see if you can feel the weight staying fairly even between the two knees. So usually as you reach your left arm forwards, you'll feel more of the weight in your left knee and your right hand. And as you reach your right arm forwards, you'll feel more of your body weight in your right knee and your left hand. So as you do that, feel the shoulders staying wide as well. You don't have to lift the arm really high, so you don't want to scrunch the shoulders up towards the ears. Just keep those shoulders wide and keep the motion through the arms fairly light and effortless. And then we'll do the same thing with the legs a couple of times. So with both arms staying still, push the floor away to keep the shoulder blades nice and wide. Just check your spine is still in its neutral position. And then as you exhale and gather in through centre, one leg presses away. And as you inhale, you bring it back in underneath you. So you can keep the toes on the floor to start with. Make sure the knee fully straightens. And if you are going to lift the leg, make sure the knee fully straightens before the leg lifts. So you want to make sure you've got a nice straight knee as the toes come away from the ground. But as I said, absolutely fine to keep the toes down if you prefer. Again, you're aiming to use that out breath to gather in through your centre, stabilising the spine and the pelvis and trying to minimise any shift from side to side. But again, you might well feel that as you reach your right leg back behind you, there's just that little bit more weight on the left knee and the right hand. So it's opposite arm and leg that are going to be pressing into the floor a bit more firmly. As you reach back through the left leg, you'll feel a little bit more weight through your left hand and your right knee. So stop and take a rest for the wrists if you need to, give them a little bit of a wriggle. Otherwise you can continue on to the opposite arm and leg. So reaching away through both opposite limbs at the same time and inhaling to bring them gently back. Use the out breath to connect into your centre first, so those deep abdominals are lifting without flattening the spine, and then the rest of the out breath can be used for that lovely reach away through the opposite arm and leg. Don't worry about how high the limbs are going, but see if you can now focus on that pressure of your right knee and left hand into the floor, which should then give you a sense of lightness and ease through the other two limbs so that they can move quite freely. And then your left knee and your right hand pushing into the floor, which will give you a sense of lightness again through the other two limbs so that they can reach away fairly effortlessly. So one more to each side, feeling that lovely connection through the centre of the body, almost as if there's a diagonal line from the shoulder blade on your pushing arm through to the hip on your pushing knee, your pushing leg. And that connection comes through the centre of the body across the belly. So right shoulder blade to left hip, that diagonal, that oblique connection is working when you've got your right hand on the floor, your left knee on the floor. Quite a nice way of thinking about it, using that push of the opposite hand and knee into the ground to stabilise you. And that's essentially all you're looking at, stabilising that spine with some nice simple arm and leg movements. You can take the arms and legs in different directions if you like for a little bit of variety, but hopefully that was useful to you as a stabilisation exercise for your spine.